I am currently working on my next irrationally over-the-top painting project. And believe me, it's gonna be irrational and over the top. But before I can really focus on that, I gotta wrap up a few things here in the studio. I have a few small paintings that I have to finish for a gallery show. And then there's also a new kind of flower print that I'm trying to come up with. And then there's also this painting here, which has been bugging me for the last few hours. The moment I finished the outlines for this painting, I actually immediately regretted my decision to paint this in the first place. I can't see any scenario where this painting works and looks good if the face of the figure isn't painted realistically. I've painted a few faces before, but in this particular case, there's actually a realistic chance that I won't be able to pull it off because I'm working with such a bad reference photo. And now I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should just go for it or abandon the project. Because believe me, there is nothing worse than working on a painting for a few days and then finding out that you're working on a trash painting. So here's the plan. I will start working on the face, and after a few hours of work I will decide whether or not this painting is worth working on or whether or not I'm gonna start over. There is no way of finding out unless you try, right? So, I've been pushing paint around for the last 2.5 hours, and yeah, this is as far as it goes, at least with the first layer. Now, is it the horrible disaster that I was afraid of? No, I'll be honest. Is it enough to get excited about the painting? Also not really. So, there's a bunch of stuff that I really like at this point. Mostly the hair and the flowing brush strokes and this tiny strand of hair here. But yeah, there's also a bunch of stuff that I don't like. The skin tones are far too bright, there's not much going on. It's a bit boring, if I'm honest. But then again, I only painted the face, and at this point it's just a floating head on a mostly white canvas, so maybe I shouldn't be so quick to jump to a conclusion or a decision here. Maybe I just have to keep going a bit and see where it goes. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move on to the dress. And then I'm going to try to incorporate some more interesting elements, and hopefully that will give me some more insights into how the finished painting might look in the end.
I'll be honest, if at this point I had the chance to turn back time, I would have started over. I would have chosen a different composition, better reference, maybe even different colors. Not because my choices were particularly terrible, but because it's not really what I initially had in mind. Not that I had a very clear idea to begin with, but it's one of those situations where you don't really know what you want, but you definitely 100% know what you don't want. And this composition just wasn't it for me. And since I know myself well enough by now, I also know that even if I ended up making a good or even great painting, I would still need to go back and realize my initial idea, because otherwise it would bug me till the end of time. Of course, I could have just put the painting aside and started a new one, but one of the things I learned is that what I personally think I want, or what I think I like, or what I think I need, doesn't always align with reality. You may start with a clear vision of what you want to create, but as you immerse yourself in the process, you always discover new techniques, new ideas, or aspects of your creative work that you just didn't foresee. And it's these unforeseeable developments that offer opportunities for exploration, growth, and even innovation, and room to be surprised. Or, in short, you never know what's going to happen. The one thing I couldn't get over though was the absolutely frustratingly shitty reference I was working from. This is honestly the stuff that artists' nightmares are made of. I admit it's a stupid idea to begin with, to attempt a painting with this kind of reference. No idea what I was thinking. Part of it is probably that I just wanted to step a bit outside of my comfort zone and just see what happens. I admittedly have the tendency to play things safe. I mean, painting is my job and time is money, you know what I mean. But it's actually really important to keep a certain level of flexibility and not be overly perfectionistic about everything. Especially when you make somewhat realistic art like I do. Working from a reference, there is always the tendency to paint what you see, and the more it looks like the reference, the better. At least, that's the belief that usually everyone starts out with. But let me tell you, nothing could be further from the truth. And I actually had to actively and consciously unlearn this, because I used to be absolutely obsessed with painting everything exactly how I see it. But the funny thing is, every time I did, I actually didn't end up liking the end result. It's so stupid in hindsight, but it took me many years to realize that what I want and what I think I want is not the same. I've said it before, but I'll happily say it again. Painting what you see will only get you what you see. And what you see when you look around yourself is usually boring and dull and lifeless. If you look at some of the masterpieces in a museum, you'll notice that most of them, even though they look somewhat realistic, are actually closer to caricatures or illustrations than to real life or photos. Tiny heads, long bodies, colorful skin tones, exaggerated features, etc. And this sort of exaggeration and simplification is really where the magic is. The hair that I'm painting here, for example, it's not really hair. Let's be honest, it's just brushstrokes. And the silk fabric of the dress is not really silk. It's silk with the contrast slider pushed to the max. It's really all just inspired by reality. And I'm admittedly not the best at this myself, but I do always try to be conscious of not just painting what I see, but to analyze, understand, and interpret it. And no better way of forcing yourself to do that than by just using the shittiest reference available. Now, if you want to see the full process for this painting, I invite you to check out the real-time videos on Patreon and to join our little community of artists and like-minded people over there. Your support really goes a long way and it allows me to continue making videos in the future. And you also get to see real-time videos that show you every brushstroke from start to finish. Eventually, I warmed up to the painting and I liked how it was shaping up. It still wasn't what I initially wanted to create. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely wasn't a trash painting. But the elongated portrait orientation of the canvas, the long vertical format, it's just rubbing me the wrong way. I know it's stupid, but it's one of those situations where I can't even say that it's bad or wrong, but I just don't like it very much. So at the end of the day, I guess it's just a matter of personal preference. Fortunately, there's a lot that I do like though about the painting, like the way the hair flows on the canvas and the sheen of the silk dress. It's subtle but striking and it creates an interesting dynamic, which really makes the painting come alive and adds a surprising depth to it. It's like a visual game of hide and seek between the details you can see and the ones you can only feel. And that's it for this one, friends. Hope you enjoyed this little painting session. Thank you all for watching and your continued support. Go and watch some of my fellow peers here on YouTube while I'm working behind the camera on blowing your minds with the next painting. And yeah, have a good one.